Hey gang, what it's popping? Hope you all are doing great. Welcome to Cimnanya or Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about Nancy Pelosi, who actually came out to say that all the pro-Israel are tied to Russia. And I am asking, how are they tied to Russia? Like, what do we have to do with Russia? You all have been on this horrible thing that has been happening for how many months, and you all refuse to speak out. You all to refuse to call for ceasefire. All you all keep doing is that Israel have the right to defend themselves from who exactly, because we really need to know whom Israel is defending themselves from. So now all of a sudden you all are calling on the investigation of everybody or people that are pro-Palestine to be investigated because they are tied to Russia. Like, I really don't understand how this wake up to think that we are deaf and dumb, like we are ignorant of everything that has been going on. We all see through your lenses. We all see all the lies you all have been telling since how many months. And all these lies this is the lies they've been telling us how many years ago, that Palestine has really been the bad guy, not knowing that they are really the bad guy. This is one of the reasons why they woke up to say that a war on Israel is a war on United States. And I see how horrible United States have been defending Israel. You know what? Let's get into this video.
They're in front of my house all the time. But for them to call for a ceasefire is Mr. Putin's message. Make no mistake, this is directly connected to what he would like to see. Same thing with Ukraine. It's about Putin's message. I think some of these protesters are spontaneous and organic and sincere. Some, I think, are connected to Russia.
You think some of these protests are Russian plants?
I think they're plants. I think some financing should be investigated. And I want to ask the FBI to investigate that.
This is the state of the American politics right now. They cannot fathom the fact there is a whole generation that rejects seeing people getting slaughtered and a whole genocide getting committed out of a moral stance. So right off of the bat, they go and link it to foreign influence. Although any poll right now shows that the majority of Americans want to see a ceasefire. And anyone who follows politics know that Putin would like the destabilization of the Middle East to continue, because it distracts the world from what he's doing in Ukraine. So why would Russia want a ceasefire? It works against their interests. The Democrats have lost the plot completely. So now if you want to chant for a ceasefire, you run the risk of being called Hamas sympathizer or anti-Semitic or now a Russian plant. Is this the 21st century version of McCarthyism? Like, what is going on?
Yes, Nancy Pelosi, I, an American Nigerian, am being paid and bought out by China and Russia because I don't have any critical thinking skills. I can't see what's going on in the world right now and discern my own conclusions and decide that, oh, the US government is corrupt and I don't like what they're doing. Therefore, I'm going to protest. Therefore, I'm going to write about it. Therefore, I'm going to post on social media about it. Wow, I guess I am a really well paid for bot or person for Russia. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi, for raising my platform.
Nancy Pelosi is suggesting that pro-Palestinian activists have ties to Russia.
Situations like this that I really want our elected leaders to understand something. The First Amendment covers everything. Sure, there's consequences. And there isn't a government, a group, or an organization on the face of the earth that I cannot criticize anytime I want, however I want, using my words. No, Nancy, I'm not being paid by Putin. Fuck him. I'm not being paid by the Russian government. I detest governments. I detest the bureaucracies that follow government. I detest the fact that governments will not listen to the people on the ground who elected them or put them in place, but will listen to oligarchs, businesses, and corporations. I detest the military-industrial complex that has run rampant here in America. I detest it. Watching as my tax dollars go to blow up a brown country, but won't take care of brown people here in this country, in this one. I detest it. And the fact that Nancy Pelosi said that shows you that the propaganda is working as advertised. It is. So Nancy won't sit and have a conversation with anybody who is pro-Palestine, but she'll sit and label them. Of course she will. And then she'll get in her driven SUV and drive off. Obviously, y'all must have us all confused with some fucking body else. Let me explain something to everybody who needs to hear this. I am a militant humanist. Militant. I mainline militant humanity into my veins every morning before I have my coffee. That means anything that results in the loss of life unjustly, unnecessarily, just to feed the maw of the military-industrial complex, I'm so against it you will never even see me and it in the same room. Because that's how much of a humanist I am. I'm so humanist that I basically told people your religion is nothing more than government with God in it. And guess what? I detest it too. I see no reason, nor purpose, nor use for religion. So, in that regard, my mind has always been clear. I didn't have to be reminded about how many people died on October 7th because I felt it. I don't have to be reminded about how many people have died in an area no bigger than the city of Houston, Texas, because I see it. And I'm protesting against anything that results in the loss of life or limb. Anything. My side will always be of the people. My stance will always be of the people. Always. And I make that stance understanding that it isn't popular to say, because I'm supposed to be happy to watch my tax dollars get turned into a J-dam that gets dropped on a hospital in the Gaza Strip. And I'm not. When I know for a fucking fact, for the cost of that J-dam or 100 J-dams, we could possibly do something about those homeless vets everybody likes using as a cudgel when they defend that shit. For the cost of all those attack helicopters, we could do something about not having universal health care. How the hell do we have the most expensive military on earth, and that's our only bragging point, when the rest of the country is falling apart? What is that expensive military protecting in the first place? And then we have managed to take our military industrial complex mindset around the damn world. I detest the Israeli government and Benjamin Netanyahu. I do not dislike Jewish people, nor do I dislike Israeli people. I think every single type of person, whether they're Jewish or Israeli, have been railroaded into this idea that they have to support everything that the Israeli government does, no matter how heinous it is. I detest the H people and their tactics, because the leaders aren't the ones getting bullets shot at them. The leaders aren't the ones having their house carpet bombed. They're sitting someplace in a nice enclosed area, safe and secure, making videos. So fuck them both. Both. And if that's too hard for Nancy to understand, and she still wants to believe that people who are against what's going on in Israel are being paid by Russian bots, I'd like for her to give me the 20-something odd years I spent in the United States military in uniform back. Give me all the anniversaries, birthdays, and deaths that I missed. I stand on the side of humanity. I am pro-human. Anything that results in the loss of life unjustly sickens me. Sickens me. So you damn right I'm going to say something about it. Because as an American citizen, I am not beholden to AIPAC. I'm not beholden to the ADL. I'm not beholden to Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm beholden to my own morality. Mine. And there's a whole lot of people that feel exactly like I. Nancy, how much money do you have tied up in the stock market for defense contractors? Because you know Republicans and Democrats do that. So of course they're going to root for war because that makes them money. Lives for profit, right, Nancy? You don't get to tell me or anybody else where to stand when it comes to the loss of life. You get to sit down and shut up because you're an employee. That's right. I know. It's hard for you to understand. You were hired to do a job, Nancy. You don't get to tell those of us who put you in that position what we can and cannot believe. Just like Sacha Baron Cohen, Deborah Messing, and Amy Schumer don't get a chance to tell me what kind of videos I get to put out. Now, TikTok is a business, and they can suppress my shit, which is exactly what they did. But the story stays the same. My words are still the same, whether I'm on this application or not. You work for us, Nancy. You, Mike Johnson, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, you are our employees. And if your employers say something you don't like, well, you can do what you all tell us to do. Find another job. I'm not beholden to any government. I'm not beholden to any special interest group or super PAC. I'm beholden to my morals. I am beholden to the idea of being a militant humanist. I am not Christian, nor Muslim, nor Jew. I am an atheist. I see no use for any of them. And I will always stand on the side of humanity, whether you like it or not, Nancy. And I really honestly don't give a fuck because, again, you're an employee. We don't work for you. You work for us. That goes for every Republican and every Democrat sitting in an office right now on Capitol Hill or a state house. You're our employees. You don't get to tell us what we can say. We get to tell you how we feel, and you get to listen and shut the fuck up. Fuck wrong with you.
At the start of that clip, where I started it, she references China. But then if you listen to the very end of the clip, she tells them to go back to China where your headquarters is. Do we understand what the fuck is happening right now? Not only has Nancy Pelosi equated people who are pro-Palestinian protesters who believe in the freedom and the liberation of Palestinian people to Russian plants, she is now saying to protesters that are outside of her house who are telling her to stop the genocide and stop what is happening to Palestinians right now, that they need to go back to China where their headquarters is. So not only has pro-Palestinian protesters been compared to one foreign entity that is seen as one of the biggest, if not top two biggest problems the U.S. is facing, but another, which takes either first or second place in top two of foreign nations that the U.S. has a problem with. So much so that they would go after you for things like treason if they ever found out that you had a connection between these two groups. Connection with either of these two groups and were doing things that were meddling with the U.S. I, again, am going to say this as many times as I need to. People have to be careful online. Nancy Pelosi is telling us in very clear terms that if they need to, if fear isn't enough, if escorting people out of spaces isn't enough when they come to protest, there will be major consequences. that come along with being a pro-Palestinian person who lives in the United States. She has already called on the FBI when it came to Russia to do something about pro-Palestinian protesters. And she's saying that they should be investigated for financial ties. And if that isn't raising red flags to you, she's already saying that people are having similar ties to the Chinese government. There is just not a world to me where this is our functioning government, where these are our representatives, and the world doesn't fucking crumble by the end of it. Because this is incredibly dangerous, and they are doing it on purpose, and they are doing it without care.
Remember just a few weeks ago, I said they were going to use FARA, which stands for the Foreign Agent Registration Act, to target groups of individuals for protesting Palestine? Well, guess what? It's about to start happening. Because today, January 28th, Nancy Pelosi is trying to say that the groups protesting Palestine are linked to Russia. And she wants the FBI to target and investigate if there's any kind of financial links between them. I said it was going to happen, and here it is, about to start happening. You got to start listening. When I said in this video they're going to do everything in their power to suppress, diminish, and blacklist anyone and everyone who dared to have the audacity to question the allegiance to the status quo, I'm saying that, and they are going to do just that.
So this is all I got from this video, and to be honest, I really need to know how much she has collected from the super PAC, APAC, and all that, because how dare her come out to tell us that that what we post on social media should be investigated. Why? People are supposed to post whatever they want to post, and now she is suggesting that how did she even come about that anybody that is pro-Palestine activist is tied to Russia? So people that has been speaking up against what you all have been doing, the wrong things, the bad things you all have been doing since how many months? I mean, there has not been ceasefire in Palestine. You all have been all out doing all your evil. At least I am very happy that all these are happening. So we know the people that we all voted, because most of you voted them into the office. And I am of the opinion that when somebody is being voted in the office and all of a sudden they start doing what they are not supposed to do, they should be voted out. And I want to ask her, Nancy, how much did they pay her to come out to say all this? So what you are telling me is that all the young people, all the Gen Z, the millennium that has been all out, the reality is that everything you all did, like all these years, you all have been hiding under the umbrella that Israel has been the good people and all that, not knowing that Palestine has been dying in silence. And this 2023, 2024, everything all came to light. We all can see everything. Nothing is hidden anymore. Most of them were televised. Netanyahu and the rest of them, all of them working against Palestine and everything that got to do with Palestine. We all see through your lenses and all that. And like Bishop Thomas said, he is not a Christian or anything, and he is not against Israel and Jewish and all that, but he is against all the evil things you all are doing, because you all have refused to desist from your acts. We know who the good people are and who the bad people are. So for Nancy Pelosi or whoever, please, ma'am, let people protect the way they are supposed to protect, because you all people, I mean, they have been counting on you people to do the right thing, but no, you all has refused to do the right thing. Because if you all are good people, what you all would have done from the onset, the whole thing started happening, is to cease fire. Kids has been unalived, young mothers and all that. And it is amazing how this is happening. A whole genocide, killing of innocent children is happening right in front of our faces. And you have the guts to come out to say that pro-Palestinians are tied to Russian. Like, which Russian exactly? We need to know. Russia, like how? We were paid to talk about the truth and or what, or that we are not seeing. They actually think that we are deaf and dumb, and that we are ignorant of everything. Like, it is amazing how they be lying all in our faces since how many months, and they think we are dumb. We are not dumb. We all know what you all are doing. And then the next is all these people that have been doing the the other side of what they are supposed to do should all be voted out. And that is all I got to say. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.